Welcome to Lesson 19. Backups are behind us, and Stage 04 begins now, making the fleet visible before it breaks. 3 signals matter: metrics, logs, and traces, and we'll wire up the first 2 in production form today. The stack is 4 pieces: Prometheus pulling metrics, Node Exporter on every Debian host, Grafana plus Loki for dashboards and log search, and Alertmanager to page the on-call. By the end, your whole fleet lives behind one URL. Here's the architecture that wins in production. Every Debian host runs Node Exporter on port 9100, exposing CPU, RAM, disk, and system metrics as plain text at /metrics. And the restick text file collector from Lesson 18 plugs right in alongside it. Prometheus scrapes that endpoint every 15 seconds. Grafana queries Prometheus. Alertmanager fires the pages, and Loki handles logs in parallel. Why pull, not push? Auto-discovery via FileSD. A dead scrape becomes a NodeDown alert instead of silence, and Prometheus drops on failure so no host ever queues itself into an So let's stand up the brain. Prometheus is one Go binary plus a YAML file. That's it. You can apt install it, but Debian's package usually trails upstream by a major version. So for production, grab the tarball from GitHub, drop the binary into /usr/local/bin, and run it as a dedicated Prometheus user. The minimal config sets a 15-second scrape interval, points at a rules directory for later alerts, and defines 2 jobs, one scraping itself on localhost 9090, and one reading file SD from /etc/prometheus/nodes. Empty for now, populated in the next slide. Enable the system unit curl/dash/healthy, and you've got a time series database scraping itself. Now we feed it something to scrape. Node Exporter ships in Debian. One apt install, one system unit, and every host is exposing roughly 500 metrics on port 9100, CPU per mode, memory, disk, network, SystemdUnit states, kernel pressure. Bind it down with nftables. Only the Prometheus host's IP gets through on 9100, everyone else drops. That's your Lesson 12 callback paying off. Then drop a YAML file under /etc/prometheus/nodes, listing your 3 prod.u boxes with env and region labels, and Prometheus picks it up on the next file as dereload. No restart, no fuss. Metrics without alerts are just decoration. 5 rules cover 90% of what wakes you at 3 a.m. NodeDown, when a scrape fails for 2 minutes. DiskAlmostFull under 10% free. BackupStale, tying back to Lesson 18's last success timestamp at 36 hours. HighMemoryPressure off the kernel's PSI counters, and SystemdUnitFailed, catching anything that flipped to failed state. The Lesson 6 callback. Every rule carries a 4 clause to kill flapping, a severity label, and a runbook URL. Next, we route them. Before we wire routing, we need a place to look. Grafana installs from its official Debian repo. Add the GPG key, the sources list, apt install, enable the system unit, and you're on port 3000. Point it at Prometheus and Loki as data sources via the API. Then import dashboard ID 1860, Node Exporter full, and you get 200 panels for free. Build one Dargslan overview on top. Fleet status, active alerts, backup ages, disk percent, bookmark it. 30-second morning skim beats a pager every time. Dashboards cover metrics, but half of every incident lives in the logs. Loki is the answer. Install it on the monitoring host on port 3100, then drop Promtail on every node to ship journaled straight to it. The trick is that Loki only indexes labels, host, unit, severity, and greps the rest at query time so storage stays cheap. From Grafana's Explorer tab, LogQL gives you SSH failures fleet-wide, Nginx 500s on one host, or error rate per host in a single expression. That's your incident bread and butter. Logs handle the forensics, but something still has to wake you up. That's Alertmanager, listening on port 9093. Prometheus fires the rule. Alertmanager groups by alert name and cluster, so 50 hosts losing the same upstream become one notification, then routes critical to PagerDuty and everything else to Slack. The repeat interval of 4 hours is deliberate. It's what stops pager fatigue from training your on-call to ignore the phone. And when you're doing planned work, AmTool silence with a duration and an incident comment keeps the channel quiet without anyone forgetting to re-enable it. Step back for a second and look at where this leaves you. Metrics tell you something broke and how badly. Logs tell you exactly what the process said when it broke. That's Prometheus, Node Exporter, Loki, and Promtail, all running on your Debian box after this lesson. Traces and profiles answer deeper questions across microservices, but Tempo and Pyroscope are infrastructure you only earn once metrics, and logs are muscle memory. Add them too early and you're paying storage costs for dashboards nobody opens. Before you ship this stack, 5 gotchas that will bite you in production. Alerts without a for clause, flap every 90 seconds until on-call mutes the pager on always add for 5 minutes, so only sustained problems wake you. Let Prometheus fill its disk, and retention silently truncates months of history. Cap TSDB retention at 80% of the partition and alert at 70. Never put request IDs or user IDs in labels. That's a cardinality explosion and an loop. Firewall port 9100 to the Prometheus host only, or the whole internet reads your inventory. And filter binary blobs and ANSI escapes at Promtail before Loki's index balloons. With those traps avoided, step back and look at what you actually built. 6 skills: pull model scraping, node exporter on every host, PromQL with 5 alerts that matter, Grafana dashboards bookmarked at 1 URL, Loki tailing journaled fleet-wide, and Alertmanager routing the page. That's the full observability stack on Debian, stage 04, mid-stretch. Next lesson, Ansible takes over. One playbook deploys this entire stack, plus everything from lessons 1 through 18 to your whole fleet. Cross-course preview into Ansible mastery. Lesson 19, complete. Prometheus is scraping, Grafana's drawing, Loki's indexing, Alertmanager's paging. The fleet is finally visible. Now the obvious next move. Stop configuring hosts one at a time. Lesson 20 is Ansible. Inventory, playbooks, roles, and vault for the secrets that never belong in Git. One run deploys lessons 1 through 19 across every node you own. Load it up and I'll see you in stage 04 automated.